Hello everyone, welcome to CEEL-MOVIE Recaps. Today I am going to recap a 2024 movie called Bitter Rain. The movie opens to a lady Fiona who is being surprised by her husband in the form of a scare. He gifts her some creepy masks which she seems to love. They plan to step up their love for scary things by traveling to a village called Arhaba to spend some time. Fiona assures Ty that the experience will be worth it. In the village of Arhaba ages ago, a white man visited the king Argu with sinister intentions, an arrangement that was supposed to thrive the village, or so the king thought. The white man, filled with greed, kills the king and his cohorts. He intends to keep the land's rich resources for himself. With his last breath the king cursed the white man. He became trapped between the world of the living and the dead. This story is being told by a journalist to his boss. Ibuka wants to obtain permission to travel to Arhaba to cover the story. He reluctantly agrees. Ty and Fiona are also on their way to Arhaba. They are met with a big snake on the road. Fiona is filled with excitement while the situation left Ty in shock. In his mind he is thinking that if this is the greeting they are met with, who knows what will grace them next. They halted their car and allowed the huge snake to quietly cross the road to the other side of the road. Before Ibuka's boss agreed for him to come to this journey, he made sure that his co-worker Dara tags along. The two chat as they travel down to Arhaba. Dara discloses that she has been to Arhaba as a child but never returned because her mum died there. She was said to be badly decomposed by the bitter rain. The bitter rain is a fatal rain that falls in the village every once in a while. It is also known that after the assassination of the king Argu, subsequent kings only lived to their 40th birthday. The two couples end up in same hotel. Fiona recognizes Ibuka as a famous journalist. They all exchange pleasantries. Fiona is beyond excited to meet the famous journalist. The lady at the front desk tells them that there is no room available. This is like the fourth hotel Ty and Fiona have tried since they arrive in Arhaba. The present king of Arhaba is seen punishing a man who duped him and wasted his time. He has contracted a number of people in search of King Argu's body, which is the only way he can live above 40, all to no avail. The hotel attendant later gives the couples with an alternative of taking a one-room hotel which they later took because it's almost midnight. They all shack up together. Fiona dreams where she is alone in the forest. The white man who was cursed appears to her. He tells her that she must free him from his bondage. On another part of the village, Nathan and his father are plotting a hostile takeover. They are of the opinion that they can succeed where the royal family has failed. During the time of King Argu's assassination, Nathan's grandfather was a witness to the whole thing. This means that some secret information has been passed down for generation in their family. It is now public knowledge that the present king is about to turn 40. The elders are in the palace to advise their king about coming up with a solution before it's too late. They drum into his ears about finding Argu's body. Their tradition demands that in order to outlive 40 years, he should locate Argu's remains. If he fails to do so, any other family that succeed in doing the needful can assume the throne. This is what Nathan and his dad plans to do. Or better still, the monarchs of Arhaba can choose another successor. The king tells them that he has heard all they have said, so they leave. He faces his companions. He lashes at them. He tells them that he doesn't have much time left. They have searched and searched for decades and found nothing. He is beginning to believe that magic was involved in the disappearance of Argu's remains. This infuriates him. He orders the servants to depart from his presence at once. Alex tells the kings not to trust the counsel of his other companion. He tells him that his ideas has landed them to countless dead end. The king lashes back at him. He tells Alex that at least the guy comes up with ideas. Alex approaches his fellow companion. He warns him not to toil with the king. If he finds out that he has ulterior motive, he will deal with him. Nathan's father gets update from their mole in the palace. Fiona and her husband are taking a walk in the village. They fool around in the woods. They stumble upon a shrine. They play with the masks and take pictures. A reverend father comes along. He explains to them that they are in the shrine of a symbolic deity of war and vengeance. To them it may be a piece of mere wood. He continues that some people commit suicide upon learning that they are the next to serve the deity. They laugh, not believing what the man is saying. They remind him that he seems not to be afraid of the shrine himself. He explains that he serves a god that the deity respects, so there is no reason for him to fear the thing. He introduces himself to them as Reverend Chimdi and they exchange names and pleasantries. The Reverend gives them free advice. He tells them it will be wise to stay indoors in the next 2 days when the bitter rain starts in the morning. He asks him what if they don't. He just says it will be a good thing if they did. According to some research map Ibuka and Dara are following, they get to some form of portal in form of a tree. They get arrested by the king's men. Fiona and TY are getting goofy in the forest. Suddenly Fiona sees the white man Ford behind TY. The king's guards take Dara and Ibuka to meet with the king in the palace. They get separated. The 21st century king is playing video game. He invites Ibuka to partake in the game. Ibuka doesn't understand why they are being arrested. In his opinion, they weren't doing anything illegal. The king moves over for him to take a seat beside him for the game. The king wins the game. He tells Ibuka that if he knows what is good for him, he should turn around and leave. Back to their apartment, TY explains to the newly released duo that he and Fiona came back to a trashed apartment. To their relief, nothing was stolen except Ibuka's storage devices. Dara wants to know why Ibuka looks so worried when all his data is backed up in his cloud. He says that it only means that the perpetrators have something to hide. He decides to stay and find out. The king is with his companions once again. Alex is still with the opinion that John is working against the throne. Come to think of it, he has taken them on numerous wise goose chase, and the most remarkable one is the last one where assassins opened fire on them, almost killing the king. It was dawned on the king that Alex may be right. There may be an inside man in the palace feeding information to the outsiders. He instructs his guards to take him to the dungeon and beat the truth out of him. They take him away in the delight of Alex. On the other hand, Nathan's father finds him in the company of some call girl. He instructs the girl to leave. She leaves. Nathan is not happy that his father badged in without permission. His father ignores his rants. He tells him that he had things under control. How come he still sent assassins to kill the king? To Nathan's horror, the king survived the attack. His father tells him that mere bullets cannot kill the king of Arhaba. Nathan is scared that this mistake may jeopardize his chances of becoming king. His father reassures him that if he can keep his hands to himself and let him handle things, everything is going to be just fine. Nathan's father gets another call from their inside man. He yells at them for attempting to kill the king. He says he knows it was Nathan who pulled such a stupid stunt. Alex, instead on following the instructions of the king, he kills John and dumps his body. Back at the house, Dara dreams again about the same white man as she did before. She awakes in fright. In panic, she pleads with them to leave the place with her. She believes that the place is cursed, so she wishes to leave. Upon her insistence and rambling, they try to make sense out of her dreams. Ibuka shows her an old photo of the dead white man. She says it's him. Fiona also admits that it's the same man she saw in the forest. This discovery is a step forward towards unveiling the truth about this place. Later that night, Ibuka confesses to Dara about the real reason he came to Arhaba. His mother was a horticulturist who came to Arhaba for some sort of research. As the village is so rich in diverse plants, she was reported dead, but her research never came back with her luggages. Ibuka suspects the kings, so he took up this assignment to gain closure. Apparently both their mothers died in this village. Despite the story Ibuka just shared with her, Dara doesn't want anything to do with the village. She just wants to pick up her things and leave. The king is seen drunk and making some declarations. He doesn't wish to entrust this kind of burden to any of his family members. He wants the royalty transferred to another family once he doesn't succeed. He can't have any of his relations going through what he is currently going through. Alex reassures him, saying that he will make it his life's mission to uncover the truth. He considers the king to be more than a friend to him. This declaration makes the king happy. Dara, on the other hand, is seen making a video for their bosses. In it she says that Ibuka deceived her and the company. Ibuka always had a hidden agenda for coming to Arhaba. Fiona joins her. They realize that the men have been gone a long time. The men went in search of the hut where the portrait of the white man is located. They find it. TY wants to take the portrait. Ibuka stops him, saying that according to research, taking the portrait will release the ghost of the white man. They decided to go back and fetch their camera for proper documentation. They decided to leave and retrieve the camera. Along the line they get lost in the woods. This almost caused quarrel between the two men. They almost get into a fight. They quickly resolve their differences. They spot the king in a distance. They try to spy on him. They see the king make some hand gestures and open a portal in the same tree he and Dara found earlier. They both follow the king. Ibuka makes the same hand gestures and they entered the portal. The king is seen consulting an oracle. The oracle tells the king and his companion Alex that the ghost of the white man hasn't talked in years. What makes them so sure that is going to speak now? Ibuka and TY continued following the king. The king just wishes to ask the white man for answers one more time. He is seriously running out of time. The king insists on talking to the white man once again. The arrogant white man refuses to divulge any information to the king. The journey is a complete waste of time. The king and his companion departs. Nathan, on the other hand, gets a necklace from his dad. The necklace was originally owned by his grandfather, the one that witnessed the murder of King Argu. Nathan thanks him for the wonderful gift. Alex joins them after a little while. Here we learn that he is the inside man Nathan's father has been communicating with. Nathan's father is not pleased by this visit. He already warned him about visiting them in the daytime. Someone might see him. He assures them that he wasn't tailed. The purpose of his visit is to give them a list of his demand once Nathan is pronounced king. He also wishes to be named the commissioner in charge of resources and tourism. The king walks in on them unexpectedly. Alex hides. Nathan excuses himself and leaves. The king is suspicious of Nathan and his dad. He claims he came to pay them a visit one last time. He inquires about the horticulturist Elizabeth, Ibuka's mum, that visited their land years ago. Nathan's dad claims she left and later died of cancer. It is clear that this evil man was the one that got rid of the woman and covered it up. She almost discovered the late king's remains. He has been the reason for the numerous atrocities committed on the land. The king nods, his suspicions still intact. He notices Alex's glasses and asks what they are doing there. Nathan's dad says it belonged to Nathan. He says Nathan bought them recently. The king bids him farewell and departs. Fiona and Dara venture to look for their men. They contracted a local boy to help them with the search. The boy leads them into a trap. Just as they were about to be assaulted by another guy, the reverend they met earlier catches up to them on time. He rescues them from the hoodlums. They explain to the man the problem they are facing. They approached an eyewitness who tells them that the men entered where only the king is allowed to enter. Only one was able to depart. Fiona wishes to know if the person that came out is her husband. The reverend advises them to go back to their lodge where they can be safe. Ibuka threatens the king to release Ty from the magic that is holding him captive. The king informs him that he is not responsible for his mum being killed and the rest of the abominations people think he committed. He considers Ibuka the only person he trusts right now. Back at their lodge, the ladies get a call from Ibuka, who informs them that Ty is alive. He gives them an address where they can meet up. They are so relieved. The king and Ibuka are now working together. Ty is seen unconscious on the floor. The king has used his magical abilities to transport both Ty and the white man to his chamber. He interrogates the man one more time. He remains adamant. He refuses to tell them where Argu's remains are buried. Ibuka takes the initiative to use his journalism skills to try and get the truth out of the white man. He tells him that he can read his mind by looking into his soul. He asks him where he kept the king's body after he killed him. He gives him an absurd answer. Ibuka pretends to have gotten the answer they are seeking, tells the king a location upriver. The white man tells them that they must be foolish to think that the bitter rain will wash the body upriver. Ibuka cleverly deduced that the body must have been washed downriver. The white man revealed the location without even realizing he has been fooled by Ibuka. To the delight of the king, they prepare to hurriedly leave the place. The bitter rain is about to start. They drag unconscious Ty along. The rain kills anything that gets in contact with it. They leave the unconscious Ty in the car while they venture on foot in search of the remains of Argu. Alex manages to locate the white man's ghost. Ford urges them to release him if they wish to defeat the king. They will need his help since he has defeated a king once. He can do it again. They release and go in search of Argu's remains. The king and his companions locates the remains. The king uses his powers to unearth it. They properly bury it. That is after they eliminated Nathan and Alex who tried to stop them. Everything in the village goes back to normal from this moment on. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more contents like this.